They will tell you seduction is an art of gentleness, a tributary gift of flowers, a sonnet scribbled on a napkin, a pleading gaze across a crowded room. They will tell you it is about vulnerability, about opening your heart and hoping, with the desperation of a beggar, that another might find it worthy. This is a lie, a beautiful, comforting, and utterly impotent lie, designed to keep the powerful in power and the hopeful forever hoping. The modern idea of seduction is a pale, anemic ghost of its former self. It is a negotiation from a position of weakness. Flattery is the clumsy currency of the amateur. Compliments are the hollow echoes in an empty chamber. This is not the art of the warrior, the strategist, the emperor of the soul. This is the art of the court jester, amusing the royalty in the hopes of being tossed a scrap from the table. But the truth is a blade forged in the fires of empire. It is cold, it is sharp, and it is devastatingly effective. True seduction is not a courtship. It is a campaign, a psychological war waged with such elegance, such breathtaking artistry, that the one being conquered mistakes the clatter of their falling defenses for the beating of their own heart. 2,000 years ago, in the heart of the Roman Empire, a poet was exiled for his genius. His name was Ovid, and the crime for which he was banished was the writing of a book so dangerous, so potent in its revelations of human nature, that the Emperor Augustus himself deemed it a threat to the moral fabric of Rome. The book was called Ars Amatoria, the art of love, a dangerous misnomer, a title that cloaks a dagger in a silken sleeve. For this is no gentle guide to romance. It is a field manual for psychological conquest. It is a playbook for the systematic dismantling of a person's will. Ovid, the poet, was in truth a master strategist of the human heart. He understood a principle that has been forgotten by the modern world. Desire is not a feeling to be discovered. It is a state to be engineered. He did not teach you how to read the stars of romance. He taught you how to rearrange them. His methods are not the clumsy advances of a suitor, but the precise, patient stratagems of a general. A campaign, he knew, has 3 phases, not wine and poetry, but siege, attack, and occupation. Understand these, and you understand the very mechanics of obsession. The first phase of the campaign is the siege. The goal of a siege is not to break down the walls with brute force. That is for the crude and the artless. The goal is to isolate the fortress, to cut off its supply lines until it becomes utterly dependent on you. In this war, the primary supply line is attention. You must become the sun in their sky, so bright that all other stars fade into insignificance. You do this not by shining your own light, but by becoming a perfect, flawless mirror. When you are with your target, your own world ceases to exist. Your ambitions, your stories, your needs, they are dust. Your entire being becomes an instrument of focus, directed entirely and unflinchingly upon them. You do not talk about yourself. You listen. You ask the questions that lead them down the corridors of their own mind. You reflect their own values, their own dreams, their own vanities back at them, but polished, amplified. You remember the insignificant details they let slip, a forgotten childhood dream, the name of a pet they lost, a casual turn of phrase they use. When you bring these details back later, it creates a devastating illusion of a deep, almost supernatural connection. The feeling that you, and only you, truly see them. During the siege, you are not a person, you are a presence. An arena in which they are the sole gladiator, and the crowd roars only for them. They will leave your presence not thinking how charming or interesting you are. They will leave thinking how charming and interesting they are, and they will begin to crave that feeling. A feeling only you can provide. Once the city is isolated, once their attention is yours to command, comes the attack. But this is not a frontal assault. It is a precise, surgical strike. During the siege, as you listened, you were not just gathering information. You were looking for the crack in the armor, the one point of structural weakness that every fortress and every person possesses. You were looking for their core insecurity. People betray their deepest anxieties not in what they confess, but in what they overcompensate for. The man who constantly boasts of his intellect secretly fears he is a fool. The woman who relentlessly parades her independence secretly fears abandonment. The person who projects an image of moral purity secretly battles a shadow they cannot face. Your attack is not to expose this insecurity. That is cruel, and it is weak. Your attack is to become the sole person in the world who soothes it. You do not point out the crack in their armor. You become the one who gently and privately reinforces it. To the one who fears they are ordinary, you hint at a hidden fire, a secret brilliance that only you are perceptive enough to see. To the one who fears they are not truly desired, you offer a gaze of such focused intensity it feels like worship. You validate the very quality they fear they lack. You become the answer to a question they have been silently screaming into the void their entire lives. This act creates a bond of terrifying power, a dependency that feels like salvation. You are no longer just a fascinating mirror. You are the antidote, the only balm for a wound they never dared to show anyone else. The walls are not just isolated now, they are breached. The attack was a success. Now begins the occupation. This is the most subtle and most crucial phase. A conqueror who keeps his army on the streets forever will eventually inspire rebellion. The art of occupation is to make your presence felt most strongly in your absence. The sun cannot shine at all hours, or it ceases to be special. Having breached their defenses and become their source of validation, you must now introduce a rhythm of presence and absence, moments of intoxicating closeness, followed by periods of cool, unexplained distance. Your sudden withdrawal after a period of such intense focus will create a vacuum, a space of anxiety and thought. Their mind, now conditioned to your validation, will race. What did they do? How can they get it back? Their thoughts will no longer be of their own lives, their friends, their work. Their thoughts will be of you. They will begin to work to win you back, to reenact the moments of connection, to solve the puzzle of your distance. You are no longer an external force they encounter. You have become an internal voice, a ghost in their machine, a question that occupies their waking moments, and a shadow that haunts their dreams. You have not just captured their city, you have occupied their entire psychological landscape. Reality without you is now unimaginable, because you have become the organizing principle of their reality. Do you see the grand design? Do you understand the terrible beauty of this strategy? They are not falling in love with you. Let us be clear on this. To believe that is the ultimate vanity, the amateur's mistake. They are falling in love with themselves. They are falling in love with the person they become in your presence. The idealized, validated, fascinating version of themselves that only you can conjure into existence. You are the author of their favorite story, and the protagonist is them. You have created a fantasy in their mind, a fantasy so powerful and so alluring that it replaces reality itself. And you are the gatekeeper of that paradise. This is the art of the soul's conquest, for the greatest victory is not one where the vanquished is left in ruins, but one where they turn to you with sincerity in their eyes, and thank you for the pleasure of their own surrender. Join the order, and master the art of the soul's conquest.